Let's start by creating the register and the login page. So we'll head over to the text editor. We'll open up our client folder and we'll go to pages and we'll create a folder called auth. And then the first one will be register.view. And in here, we'll just put HTML, H1, register. We'll add our script tags. And then for now, we can just copy this one out and we'll add a new file and we'll say login view. Here we'll just paste that and we'll say login. And we'll also create in our pages folder another file. And we're going to say dashboard.view. H1 dashboard, just so that we have a landing page for when we log in. And then we'll add our tags. And what we can do now is on our index.view, we can add those links. Here and here, we're going to have auth, and the first one will be register, and then the next one will be login. So let's go ahead to the browser and make sure that we are able to link to these. We'll go to the registration page first. Okay, great. So our registration works, or our register page works, and our login works, and also dashboard should work. Okay, cool, dashboard. So now I want to set it up so that our auth register, all of our auth pages have the same background that the landing page has. So with this image right here. And Nuxt has decided to remove some of the default pages from when it installs, which is fine. So all we need to do is just add the folder. Okay, so we're going to call it layouts. And then the folder, the file that we're going to put in there is the default layout. So default.view. Okay, so now in here, we can just copy all this stuff from the index page. Copy, paste. And now we can get rid of everything in here. And we'll just add the component. So it's Nuxt. So now in the index page, we can get rid of this opening div and this one. And I don't think we need any script tags in here and not in here either, at least not for now. So we can get rid of those. Okay, so let's head back to the browser. If you have an error, all we need to do is refresh and we should get our background and everything back. Great, so let's now go to the auth register page and hopefully it should still be there. Cool, so we still have our background and we have our text. We can close the default now. We can close the index. And for now, we can also close the dashboard. Let's go ahead and get started in our register page. Now in here, to save us some time, I'm just going to paste a bunch of code. Okay, and all we're doing in here is, it's a form. So it's going to have a title of register. It's going to have a form where the method is submit. Have our form, our V models are all set up. Our errors are set up. Everything is set up for us. Okay, and then we have a link leading back to the auth login page. Okay, so now if we scroll down here, we can get started with our data section. And we'll say equals, parentheses, curly brackets, form, meta, name, email, password, and password confirmation. Okay, and then under here, we are going to have a field for errors so that we can display them right in the form. Now, of course, we also need our method. So it's going to be methods, and we're only going to have one in here. So we're going to do async submit, and open that up. Now we still have to work on this on the back end, but for now we'll just set it up in here. So we're going to do a try catch method. And for the try, we're going to await this Axios get Sanctum CSRF cookie. And then we need to do await this Axios post API register, because we're going to be using the API folder to hold to be responsible for all the calls that we're making to the backend. So we're going to use that API.php. So we also need to pass in this form. And for the error, we're going to say this errors equals error response data errors. Now, let me explain this a little bit. Whenever we make a call to the backend for authentication, so of course we're registering a user, we need to authenticate this user, but we need to be able to pass it to our Sanctum. So we need to make a call to the Sanctum CSRF cookie and to authorize the request. The next thing we're doing is posting to the API register this form. Now, if we take a look and we open up, we'll open up a terminal and we make sure that we are in the API folder. We're going to do PHP artisan route list. And this will list out, close this. This will list out the routes that we have. If you take a look here to grab the user, it's in the API folder or in the API file. So that's what we're making a call to, the API user. For the login, it's just login for right now, but we are going to change it. The Sanctum CSRF cookie and the register right here. These we want to make sure that we're making calls to API register, API login, API logout. Now, this is where we go to do it. If we head over to let's close up the client folder for now, open up the config and head over to the cores.php. This is saying that the paths that we want to have pass through our Sanctum, first of all, it's in the API folder, so all the routes are going to have API in the front, everything, and then Sanctum CSRF cookie, so that's going to be another authorized route. Now, we used to be able to just go ahead and, let's say, add register, and then login, and then log out, or whatever other call we needed to make for the authentication, but we don't need to actually do that anymore. So what we can do now is if we head over to the Fortify, if you come down to the prefix, the Fortify routes prefix subdomain, it says here you may specify which prefix Fortify will assign to all the routes, which means that now we can just go ahead in here and put API, and that will add that route. So let's take a look now. Go ahead, PHP artisan route list, open this up. Okay, and now you can see our authentication routes now have the API in front of it, which is exactly what we wanted. So drop this, close that, open that. Now, by the logic that I just gave you, if we head over to our routes web.php, normally when we do authentication, we don't have to do anything in here because it's already built in with the Fortify. We don't have to deal with the routes here. They're within Laravel. So by extension, if we head over to the API, we again do not have to call those routes in here because they're being called already whenever we make that call. Hope that makes sense. We can close this up for now. We can close up the cores, and let's just scroll down on the fortify.php just to make sure that we have everything configured correctly, because the only thing we needed to make sure we had was the feature, which we do. We have it accessible. So why don't we try to make that call? Okay, let's go ahead, refresh the page, and we'll also open up our inspect tool so that we can see what the call is doing. Okay, and we do have some errors, so let's take a look and see what they say. Okay, failed to authorize, not matching server rendered content. That's fine because we didn't do anything yet. So let's try to register a user. Form filler, submit. Okay, so nothing is happening. Let's check our network and see what we did. Okay, so it made a call to register. And that looks like it was okay, but we also have to, yeah, so it was, the post was created, the post went through, we have a 201 response, and we also have a user, which means that now we do have to log in the user. So we need a function for that. So let's go back to the register. And now after this method has been called, we also need to do await this auth login with, so we need to use our we're using our strategy that is Laravel Sanctum. Let's go back here. Okay, and not only do we pass in a strategy, we also have to pass in the form, comma, curly brackets, data, this form. Okay, so now let's go back, empty cache, hard reload. Okay, we'll try to register another user, submit. So we're making the call to our CSRF, a register, and now it's trying to bring us to home because that's the default action after after a user has registered. Error is not defined. Let's see, error. Okay, so let's make sure we're getting the correct error. Okay, I want to go and clear all of this out. Clear out all the cookies. Refresh the page. Okay, we'll go back to our network tab. We'll try to register another user. Submit. Okay, so now we're making the call to the login. And if we take a look, okay, now if we take a look, we are able to log in and it is trying to redirect us to home. But if we take a look at our console and we scroll up to where the error is coming in, even though we're getting data of undefined, that's fine, we'll handle that. But it's asking to redirect to the API login page, it's actually redirecting to the home, which we aren't using the 8000 home. This is our backend. So what we need to do is first go to our, let's close up the config app, HTTP middleware, and we need to adjust this redirect if authenticated. Now, before we do that, this route service provider we know is sending us to that home. That's where it's redirecting. Okay, but if we go down to our environment, our .env folder or file, I want to create another URL. So we can copy this one. And that's just so that we can be more specific within the app. We're going to say spa URL. And this one is going to be, instead of 800, we're going to use 300. Okay, that's going to restart over here. Now let's try to open up our redirect if authenticated file again. And now in here, instead of this return to the route service provider, we need to do if request expects JSON, because we do need a JSON response since we're working with the API. So here we're going to say return response JSON, and we're just going to put in some text here. It doesn't really matter. We just need to get the response. So the response is 200. And now if it doesn't, then we can return redirect. Now we need to use the URL of the env file that we just put, and we need that key, so the spa URL, and we need to concatenate / dashboard because that's where we want to redirect to. Okay, and then return next request, that's fine. Why don't we give this a try now? Make sure we log out everything. So we'll go to application, clear out the cookies, refresh. Okay, now we'll try to register another user. Go to our network tab. Okay, we're logging in, got our user. Okay, and that's what we wanted. We wanted to make sure we got that user, but it did redirect us back here. So the reason it did that is because in our Nuxt file, we need to set up the redirects. And in our Nuxt config, we'll do them all at once. So let me just close this up a little bit so we can see it clear. Come down, comma, and we need to have a redirect in here. Okay, the first one is going to be login. And when we're not logged in, we need to go to auth login. The next one will be logout, and that will go just back to the landing page. And then home will be /dashboard. So one final time, hopefully we've got it this time. We'll go ahead and make sure we're logged out of here. And it looks like we might need to restart our client server. Okay, so now once again, we'll do npm run dev. Okay, now let's try to go back and refresh, and hopefully that straightens out that page. Okay, so we got our page back. So once again, clear out all the cookies. We'll head to our register page. We'll try to register a new user. Now we're going to be changing the background for this as well, but for now, let's just work on the login. So auth login. And let's say close out Nuxt, redirect, close out our .env, our Fortify, and now we can just snatch this and then just change it accordingly. So copy, paste, and then let's scroll up and work our way down. So instead of register, this is going to be login. We are not going to be needing this here, so we'll just cut it out. And we'll just put it above the login. And we're going to change this to email and this one to email. Okay, so we'll submit. Now we can get rid of this name altogether. We can get rid of this email. Well, we'll keep the email. We just need to get rid of the error for it. And then password. Get rid of the error for this as well, because the validation that comes back, it doesn't specify which field that you need. It just tells you to re-enter everything, just for security purposes. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. And now down here, our Nuxt login, we can change this to register. And then instead of already have an account, we'll say need an account. And then we'll copy paste this. And for now, we don't have the route set up yet, so we'll just put a hashtag in there. And then here we can just say password. And this justify center, we need to do justify around. Okay, so let's head down. Again, we don't need name. We don't need password confirmation. And now we need the Sanctum. Don't need the register, and that should be good. Let's head back, and now we can just grab any one of our users. Okay, here, let's check our validation. Okay, that's not going to work because we still have a user logged in, so we'll clear out all the cookies, and we'll go to auth login. Okay, try it again, click submit. Okay, so it displayed up top here. I might put that underneath, but anyway, we'll go ahead and paste in the user's email, password, submit, and let's make sure that we are on the network tab. Okay, and now we've been redirected back to the dashboard. Fantastic. So the next thing I want to do is set up a new layout for the rest of the app. So in here, we'll just say app layout.view. I'm going to paste a bunch of stuff in there. Whoa. You need a template. Now paste. And a JavaScript section. Okay, so it's really simple. All we're doing is giving it a title. We're changing the background to, it's going to be with a red navigation, and it's just going to have some links, and the rest of the page is going to be white. So let's go to our dashboard and add that to our dashboard. Layout, app, layout. Okay, so now we have a much nicer layout for that. Let's open this up a little bit. And let's go ahead and add the dummy text in our dashboard. Okay, so it's just a bunch of dummy text with the dashboard as the header, and that's it. Okay, so let's head back and see what we have. Okay, much nicer. Okay, now we also have a logout button here that doesn't do anything, and it should, so let's go take care of that real quick. We can close the dashboard, and on the layout file, you see we have click prevent logout, so we do need that method. Methods, logout, this, auth, logout. Not logout, logout. Okay, so let that finish recompiling here. Okay, so let's give it a spin, click logout. The method is pending, it'll go through in a second. Now we're sent back to the dashboard. I'm going to make sure to push all this code up to GitHub. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.